For skills that instantly make you a better communicator. You're already ahead of most people your age if you can communicate with clarity and confidence. Research consistently shows that strong communicators earn better professional opportunities, achieve higher income, and build more successful relationships. In today's world, especially among people under 25, there's a massive gap. Communication skills are in high demand, but very few people actually possess them. And when supply is scarce, you don't need to be extraordinary, simply being competent makes you stand out. So don't click off. This may be one of the most valuable lessons you learn. In our generation, effective communication is the modern equivalent of being tall, attractive, and socially magnetic. Let me explain why. There was once a guy in his second year of university who stood out for one simple reason: he could speak. Not just talk, speak. When he walked into a classroom, people listened. He led presentations with confidence, ran group project meetings like a natural, and classmates would line up to ask for help before their speeches. Communication was his thing. It was what made him feel powerful. It was the identity he wore like armor. Around the same time, he started dating someone from his course, someone equally charismatic, articulate, and socially sharp. Together, they looked like a power couple. People noticed them, admired them, even envied them. Life felt stable. Controlled. Predictable. But everything changed one night. At a university society event, they arrived together, and a close friend of his joined them. At first, it was normal laughs and casual conversation, until something shifted. He watched as his partner leaned a little closer to his friend, laughed a little harder at his jokes, and held the kind of eye contact that speaks louder than words ever could. You could almost feel the electricity between them from across the room. On the walk home, there was silence, the heavy kind that sits in your chest. And later that night, the friend admitted he felt it too. The attraction. The unspoken tension. The truth underneath the smiles. That moment cracked something inside him. The confidence people admired began to crumble. The voice that once commanded attention now shook. Conversations became battles in his mind, every word carried the weight of doubt. He looked in the mirror and saw someone smaller than before. Someone inadequate, someone unworthy. And slowly, the skill that once set him apart began to disappear, buried under anxiety, jealousy, and fear. The strongest communicator in the room suddenly couldn't communicate at all. That moment sent me into a downward spiral. I developed intense insecurity, jealousy, and anxiety. I began questioning everything about myself, my appearance, my value, my worth. I looked in the mirror and saw someone who wasn't good enough, someone who didn't deserve attention. Even though my perception was distorted by emotion, it felt real. And as that insecurity grew, my communication collapsed. The confidence I once had vanished. I started stumbling over my words, avoiding conversations, and shrinking away from opportunities one used to chase. Think of communication like a water pipe. The pipe represents your ability to express yourself, and the water represents the substance and quality of your message. Anxiety, fear, and self-doubt clog the pipe. You might have strong ideas and the potential to speak well, but if the pipe is blocked, nothing flows. When embarrassment or fear of judgment takes over, expression feels physically stuck, as if something is closing off your throat. To clear the blockage, you have to identify its source. Where did this insecurity begin? Why am I afraid to speak? Why do I fear judgment? Once you address the root rather than the symptoms, the pressure eases. The goal isn't perfection, nobody eliminates anxiety entirely, but reducing the buildup dramatically improves your ability to communicate. I still feel anxious and uncertain at times, but I carry less mental clutter than most, and that difference creates new opportunities. Now let's talk about improving the quality of the water, your communication itself. Here are 4 practical strategies you can apply today. First, intention shapes expression. In year 7, I approached a girl at school with the goal of receiving validation rather than genuinely connecting. Within seconds, the conversation collapsed. Had my intention been curiosity and connection instead of approval, the interaction would have flowed naturally. When your purpose is authentic connection, not impressing, performing, or proving something, confidence follows, and tension dissolves. Second, read more. Reading expands vocabulary and strengthens mental structure, which directly improves communication. I read about 30 to 60 minutes a day and highlight new words that feel useful, not pretentious. If your vocabulary is limited, your expressive capacity has a ceiling. Reading also trains your internal voice, helping your thoughts become clearer, sharper, and more organized. Third, improve your appearance. I'm not talking about aesthetics for validation, I'm talking about alignment between how you feel and how you present yourself. Well-fitting clothes, proper grooming, good sleep, clean skin, and healthy nutrition significantly improve confidence. When you feel secure in your physical presence, your voice becomes stronger and clearer. Confidence radiates before words are spoken. Fourth, practice speaking, especially on camera. Repetition is the fastest path to mastery. When I look back at my first YouTube video 3 years ago, I barely recognized that version of myself. My tone, confidence, and pacing improved simply because I practiced. You don't need an audience, record 5 or 10 minutes a day, even privately. Treat it like a journal. Refinement comes from repetition. Communication is a skill, not a gift. The more you use it, the more powerful it becomes.